You guys know that I'm a huge fan of animal-based eating. What does that even mean? It's meat, organs, we're not gonna find any organs in here, fruit, honey, raw dairy. We're also not gonna find any raw dairy in here, but there is some decent grass-fed dairy in here. There are some decent eggs. I bet I can find some raw cheese in Costco, fingers crossed, and I know I can find some grass-fed beef, and I know they have organic fruit. So let's go. Let me show you what I would buy in Costco. All right, guys, Costco grocery haul. We're gonna start with meat. They've actually got some pretty good meat at Costco. I'm impressed by this. You can see here, they've got Angus beef patties here, which are $6.66 a pound. Check this out. You can get 100% grass-fed Wagyu beef or 100% grass-fed beef for $5 a pound. So grass-fed beef is even cheaper than Angus grain-fed beef here. What's the difference between grass-fed beef and grass-fed Wagyu beef? Different breed of cow. This is gonna be fattier, but supposedly both of these are 100% grass-fed. You can see here on the nutrition facts that one patty of Wagyu has 38 grams of fat. Let's compare that to the regular grass-fed beef. Regular grass-fed beef, one patty has 30 grams of fat. So I don't really worry about animal fats. I think that they're healthy for humans. If you're trying to lose weight, thinking about fat in your diet certainly will help, but in general, I think that an 80-20 mix for ground beef is great. It's gonna be flavorful. There are many unique nutrients in the fat. There are many fat-soluble vitamins, vitamin E, vitamin K2, which has been associated with all kinds of cardiovascular benefits in beef patty fat. There's gonna be more of those in grass-fed beef versus grain-fed beef. Grass-fed beef fat and regular beef fat also contains stearic acid, which has been associated with satiety and leanness in humans. So I think meat fat, animal fat is healthy. That's where tallow comes from. And I think these 100% grass-fed beef patties would be a great first choice for your Costco grocery haul. So let me show you shopping for cheese at Costco. They're actually pretty good here for cheese. They have 4 different raw cheeses that I'll show you in a second. But I also want to point out that they have Jarlsberg. So Jarlsberg is one of the cheeses that has the most vitamin K2. I think vitamin K2 is incredible for humans. This one is pasteurized, but Jarlsberg, because of the Propionibacteria in here, has higher than average levels of K2 in terms of cheese. High levels of K2 in the diet have been associated with decreased rates of all-cause mortality, decreased incidence of cardiovascular disease in the Rotterdam study and multiple studies. Cheese is a health food, especially the vitamin K2 content in cheese. It's interesting because the mainstream medical establishment believes that saturated fat is bad for you, but cheese, milk, butter, all of these contain fat-soluble vitamins like vitamin K2, which are clearly, repeatedly, significantly, strongly associated with better cardiovascular disease outcomes. So I think the mainstream is a little bit confused when it comes to saturated fat. Over here we've got Gruyere. You've got this Gran Reserva Iberico. You've got Pecorino Romano, and you've got Parmigiano Reggiano. Who knew that Costco had 4 different types of raw cheese? That is pretty cool. So raw cheese means it's made from milk that has not been pasteurized. The majority of cheeses on this wall, the milk has been pasteurized. But for Parmigiano Reggiano, Pecorino, for the Gruyere, it's part of these European cheeses that the milk is not pasteurized. Probably preserves many of the important nutrients in there. I think they taste better and I digest them better. I like raw dairy in general versus pasteurized dairy whenever I can get it. So lots of good raw cheese options here at Costco. All right, look at this butter. Costco actually has a good selection here. I don't know what happened here. This is a travesty. Somebody put some spring mix greens on the grass-fed butter. Let's move those out of there. Not a fan of salad, obviously. You got organic salted butter, you got regular butter, you got grass-fed butter, and you've got Kerrygold butter. And so this one says 95% grass-fed butter. It's basically the same as Kerrygold. It says product of New Zealand. Kerrygold is from Ireland. Kerrygold got into trouble a little while ago for claiming it was grass-fed and not disclosing that they were fed some grains. So, you know, I think that 95% grass-fed butter is pretty good. I prefer like a raw butter from an unpasteurized milk. How do you make butter in the first place? You let the cream separate and you just churn the butter. So butter is incredibly healthy for humans. Butter contains many immunologically active components. Butter contains fat-soluble vitamins like vitamin K2. Butter is not something to be feared. Everyone these days seems to be hating on saturated fat. This is an antiquated notion in medicine. There's so much evidence now that there's no connection between saturated fat and increased cardiovascular disease. And I think that the fats in grass-fed butter help with satiety. If you look at the studies, dairy fat is associated with leanness, both in adults and kids, and dairy fat is associated with better outcomes in humans in many different clinical endpoints. So do not fear dairy fat. Dairy fat also contains things like odd-chain fatty acids, C15 and C17, pentadecanoic acid, heptadecanoic acid, which are consistently associated with good health outcomes in humans. So butter is a health food, guys. I would get this grass-fed salted butter or the Kerrygold. It's basically the same thing. All right, guys, so right across from the butter here, you've got all the oils. And I'm not gonna get any of these. I'm gonna tell you why. I don't like olive oil or avocado oil unless they're organic, single source, cold pressed, and present in glass. So this one here is organic, it's extra virgin, it's in glass, but it's not single source. It says produced from Italian grown olives. Look, this is probably not a horrible olive oil, but a lot of olive oils are actually cut with seed oils. And unless it's from a single source, you just don't know. I'm not trying to make it impossible for you guys to buy olive oil. This is probably not a bad option at Costco, but I would not use this one because I want it from single source. Like I said, a lot of avocado and olive oils are cut with seed oils. Same thing with this avocado oil. I don't use this at all. I would use an olive oil if I were gonna eat something like a salad. The last time I ate a salad was maybe 15, 12, 13 years ago. I don't eat salads, so I don't see much use of an extra virgin olive oil in my diet. I just use animal fats, butter, tallow, ghee, very occasionally coconut oil when I have nothing else, but almost never coconut oil. Sometimes I put coconut oil on my skin, or if I'm going in a chlorinated pool, I might put coconut oil on my skin to hopefully prevent the absorption of chlorine from the pool. But if you're gonna buy these, guys, don't heat them. Olive oil, avocado oil are not meant to be heated. They're better than seed oils in terms of linoleic acid and polyunsaturated fats, but they're still too unstable to be heated. You will damage the oils. All right, let's go in the freezer and see what we can find in terms of fruit for this animal-based grocery haul at Costco. They've got a lot of different stuff in here, but I'm gonna try and be picky and see what I can find that's organic. I can get organic blackberries, organic raspberries. I do think it's important to get your berries organic because they have high levels of pesticides. If you can't find organic berries or can't afford organic produce, remember that washing your fruit or vegetables, if you eat vegetables, if you're of that persuasion of vegetables, in baking soda can significantly reduce the amount of pesticides. I love cherries, but these are not organic. I like those cherries. Those are veneer cherries. Again, not organic. If I were gonna get organic stuff here, I could find blackberries, raspberries. Let's see if there's anything else in here that's organic. Otherwise, I'm gonna be breaking out the baking soda and soaking this stuff in baking soda for 15 minutes, 2 teaspoons per liter, 1% solution of baking soda. That's magic through chemistry. Okay, we can also get some organic strawberries here at Costco, so not bad. Even at Costco, I can find at least 3 different types of organic fruit. And if you wanted to get non-organic stuff, you could wash it in baking soda. Let's see if there's any organic grapes. Yeah, they've got organic cotton candy grapes here as well. I'm gonna get sprayed by water here. Organic candy snaps. All right, we got some funky, dangerous grape flavors happening today. But all right, cool. So they have lots of different organic fruit here. And let's talk a minute about salads, because sometimes you guys ask me about vegetables. So what's the deal here? Why do I not like plant leaves? Because they're higher in defense chemicals. Spinach especially has tons of oxalates. Oxalates, we know, form the most commonly occurring kidney stone in humans, calcium oxalate kidney stone. So not a huge fan of spinach. I think plant leaves have vitamins in them, but a lot of those vitamins are cooked out or denatured when you cook them. If you're eating plant leaves raw, you're probably gonna get a lot of gas. They're difficult to digest. They have defense chemicals, oxalates, digestive enzyme inhibitors. In the brassica leaves, like kale, you have isothiocyanates, which could negatively affect iodine absorption at the level of the thyroid. Listen, if you like vegetables, you do you. I'm not gonna piss on your campfire too much. I'm just saying, for a lot of people that have autoimmune issues or gut issues, cutting these out of your diet is a significant improvement. And if you're eating an animal-based diet with good quality meat, with maybe some organs, either fresh or desiccated like we make at Heart and Soil Supplements, if you're getting raw milk, raw cheese, you're not missing anything from here. All those nutrients plus way more are in the meat and animal foods. I do think plant foods are valuable, and if you get the organic fruit, you're doing great. So outside of the freezer, they've got bananas, they've got apples that are organic. Costco has avocados, they're not organic, but you can find avocados at Costco. Over here, they've got organic mangoes. That's pretty cool. So outside of the freezer, they've got even more organic fruit. You've got organic bananas from Mexico. I thought maybe they were from Costa Rica. And over here, we've got organic apples. Obviously, the only type of apple to eat is a Fuji apple. If you disagree with me, you're crazy. But yeah, you can get organic Fuji apples at Costco, organic bananas. They have a lot of good options for organic fruit here. A lot of people don't know that squash is actually a fruit, so it's not really important. Some people say it's splitting hairs, but I digest fruit better, and I actually include squash on my animal-based diet. They have melons here. These are not organic, but they've got watermelons, cantaloupe. I'm trying to stay to the organic produce. So if I want organic produce at Costco, I can get bananas, I can get apples. We talked about all the berries, and you can get mangoes. They've got a good amount of stuff here in terms of the fruit on an animal-based diet that is organic. And I definitely think that it's worth investing in organic without the pesticides. There was recently a study I saw that if you eat organic food for just 5 days, the amount of pesticides in your body, in your blood, decreases significantly. Yes, it's more expensive, but I think it's worth it long term. Another thing they have organic at Costco, I almost said Whole Foods, this is definitely not Whole Foods, is dates. Double date. I don't know why they say double date, but you could eat 2 and go on a double date, but it's an organic date, so that's awesome. Dates are super sweet. These are an amazing post-workout. If you want a pre-workout snack or just an amazing sort of treat, take a little bit of butter and put it in a date, a little bit of salt, you're welcome. All right, guys, check it out. Costco has a couple options here. They have mega maple syrup. That is the biggest maple syrup I've ever seen. It says it's organic and limited edition. Actually, it looks pretty good. I love maple syrup. If you are addicted to soda, take that maple syrup and combine it with sparkling water with a little bit of lime and salt. It's a great way to kill a soda addiction. I do maple syrup sometimes. I also like honey. I do honey in my raw milk, and Costco has lots of options here. They have Manuka honey. I don't really think it's worth the money, but they have some if you really want to go that route. And they have an organic, raw, unfiltered honey. It's in plastic, unfortunately, and it's from Brazil. So I don't know how close any pesticides, any glyphosate are to that. One of the things I'm really proud about is our glyphosate-free honey from Lineage. We just released it. We also have tallow out now. It's the best tallow you will ever have, trust me. But when we source our honey for Lineage, we made sure that it is glyphosate-free, it's tested. This honey is organic, it's raw, it's unfiltered, pretty darn good. It's not a bad option. I wish it were in glass, and I think with honey, it's important to know if there are pesticides around it, so do the best you can, but I mean, Costco has some good options anyway. All right, Costco actually has some decent yogurts. They've got an organic Greek yogurt, and over here they've got organic A2 grass-fed yogurt. These are both plain, no added sugars. Neither of them is raw, but not bad options at Costco at all, especially this one, A2 from Jersey cows. A1 versus A2 refers to the casein isoform. A lot of people find they digest A2 milk better than A1. A2 milk is from Jersey cows. It says it right here, these grass-fed Jersey cows. And A2 milk is also from things like sheep or bison. Anything other than cows is A2, and Jersey cows are A2. So if you have trouble tolerating dairy, try and find raw dairy, like a raw cheese, or look, whoa, I almost dropped that. Explosion. Look for A2 in your yogurt. Let me talk to you guys a little bit about fish at Costco. You've got a couple options here. You got Atlantic salmon. They say it's fresh, and it says right there it's farm raised. Remember that all Atlantic salmon is farm raised, and if you look at the label, all Atlantic salmon is going to have coloring added in the feed. So if this did not have coloring added in the feed, it would look like this tilapia. So this is what happens with farm-raised salmon, guys. If you don't add coloring in the feed, it looks like this. But it looks like this because of the coloring, because they're trying to mimic wild salmon. Not a huge fan of farm-raised salmon. polychlorinated biphenyls, PCBs, all kinds of contaminants there. Wild salmon is definitely better, but not perfect. Wild salmon, like this sockeye salmon, you can definitely see the difference in color here. Much more red, because it's eating what it's supposed to eat, has issues also. So even wild fish can have issues with heavy metals, PFAs, which are forever chemicals, and microplastics. I am sorry to piss on your fish campfire, but making the majority of your protein sources fish is a bad idea when it comes to contaminants. If you want to eat some fish every once in a while, if you want to eat shrimp, if you want to eat crab, whatever, no big deal every once in a while, but realize that if you're eating sushi every meal, or you're eating fish for all of your protein, and you're not eating beef protein, you're not eating chicken protein, there's a high likelihood you're going to have lots of heavy metals, endocrine disrupting forever chemicals, PFAs, microplastics, which by the way are in every male testicle studied in a small study. So we're swimming in microplastics, guys. Fish has a lot of them. Quality matters. I don't eat a lot of fish these days because of that, but you do you. So Costco is huge. I could be in here for hours showing you guys every little thing, but that was a good tour. I think we were able to look at a lot of good things, and it showed you guys what kind of stuff I would buy. There's actually a lot of good stuff in Costco. I mean, I know a lot of you guys shop here. I think the majority of you guys shop here. It gets a bad rap, but this place is pretty good. They've got grass-fed beef, they've got organic fruit, they've got raw cheese, they've got honey. The honey is in plastic, and we don't know where the sourcing is from. It probably contains pesticides like glyphosate. I'm super proud of this glyphosate-free honey that we just released at Lineage, and I don't even think they sell tallow at Costco. And we also have a new tallow from Lineage, which is the best tallow you will ever try. But we've also got good, decent grass-fed butter here, nothing raw. And as we saw, they've got decent yogurt from A2 cows. It's pretty easy to eat animal-based very healthfully at Costco. There's actually a pretty good amount of food here that's great, and something that you could include on an animal-based diet. Again, I don't think everybody needs to eat an animal-based diet to the letter. I just think it's a valuable place to start. I try not to be dogmatic about it, but eating this way helps a lot of people. So hopefully that's helpful for you guys as a blueprint, what kind of stuff I would buy in Costco, and I'll see you in the next video.